Month MOR update from the Department of Justice on the report of protected funds held in court. Members, the meeting will commence in open session, and just advise members all mobile phones must be set to airplane mode and/or silent or turned off. It's not just sufficient to put mobiles to silent, as they continue to interfere with assembly recording. The session is being recorded in video and audio and can be accessed live via online streaming either on the Assembly website or Democracy Live. Members' apologies. I've an apology from Daniel McCrossan. Any other apologies? No. Members, agenda item 2 is the minutes of the meeting on the 28th of September. Members, the minutes of that meeting are pages 5 to 7. Can I ask members if they're content with those minutes as an accurate record?
Great.
Okay, I'll sign as being. It's been accurate. Matters arising. Can I just refer members to table correspondence from the Department for the Communities Accounting Officer, which provides the names as requested by a member of the committee on the dedicated sponsor team which supports the Northern Ireland Highland Executive in the delivery of its executive and ministerial objectives. Members, are you content to note for reference if needed?
Noted.
Okay. Members, agenda item 4 is correspondence. Correspondence is in your pack from pages 9 to 93. First piece, members, pages 10 to 80 is a piece of correspondence from Mr Pat Donnelly, who claims in his letter that there has been a misuse of public funds by an official at the Department of Employment and Learning. Mr Donnelly worked for a company called Proteus, who acted as a support structure for the European Social Fund Managing Authority within DEL, and he's claiming that Proteus was misinformed about the existence and rejection of a business case for the ESF 2014-2020 programme. Mr Donnelly has also made complaints in relation to a number of Assembly questions which he feels were not properly addressed, and has submitted an FOI to the Department in July, which he has yet to receive a reply on. He also states that as it is the information actually requested is pertinent to the complaint he is making to PAC. Darren, could I ask you maybe just to speak on that piece of correspondence?
Yeah, it's quite an extensive piece of correspondence, and you can see some of it's to do with travel expenditure, overseas expenditure. The amounts of money aren't huge. The department has obviously done an investigation into the claim. Mr Donnelly obviously wasn't happy with the outcome, and there's further. So it's a live case, I think, with further FOI requests. Certainly, I think we're just keeping an eye on it.
Okay. Members, are you content that we write to the department asking them why they've not replied to the FOI as yet? And once that's received by Mr Donnelly, we follow up.
What department?
Yeah, it's DEL, Employment and Learning. Okay, members content? And then we just advise Mr Donnelly of the outcome and ask him to send in his information pertaining to PAC so that we can fully consider the request. Okay, members, just the next piece of correspondence is received from the Audit Committee at pages 81 to 93. Can I advise members the Audit Committee is responsible for scrutinising and agreeing the annual estimate for the Northern Ireland Audit Office. The correspondence advises that the Audit Committee received a briefing from the NIAO to inform them of its position in relation to the upcoming budget exercise, and it is seeking the views of the Committee on the budget position of the Northern Ireland Audit Office. Just advise members the Audit Committee is also seeking the views of the Committee in relation to the draft protocol on the Northern Ireland Audit Office budget process, which is based on the existing principles and practice following on from agreeing the Northern Ireland Audit Office annual estimate. A copy of the protocol is at pages 92 to 93. Again, can I just ask the CNAG to comment?
We'll start, Chair, with the protocol. I think that's a very positive development. This governs the whole relationships and the various steps in the process for agreeing the Audit Office budget and estimate. So I think that's good, that's positive. We're obviously in deliberations with the Audit Committee, the Assembly, on our own budget. We haven't our figures finalised yet. That'll be in the next week or so. But I did tell the Audit Committee and the Assembly that we could deal with a 3% cut, or at least 3%, maybe a little more than that. What's also relevant is we have a voluntary exit scheme in progress at the minute. The outcome of that will be known at the end of this month. And so we are in a reduced budget line. Our workload is down a wee bit as well because we have less accounts to audit with the rationalisation of government. Including where there's councils, 3 less departments, consolidation in the education sector. So we get some saving out of that. That said, we are tight. We took 5% cut last year, so we've absorbed quite a bit. I suppose the bottom line is going forward, we probably think we can't take any more than that, but we can do 3% or a bit more in 17-18. So that's our take at the moment.
Okay, Michelle.
Thank you, Robin, and thanks, Kieran. And well, it's useful to have the protocol set out. I'd like to ask, and I suppose in this period of austerity and everybody's having to make cuts, I suppose it's no surprise that the CNAG's office would be likewise affected. But if we had a spike in business, I mean, we were doing the RHI thing last week. If we found that there was a further investigation needed or something, there was an unprecedented business demand, have you the ability, the flexibility to go back and seek additional resources if it was needed?
Well, exactly. That's actually one of the issues we did talk about at the audit committee, that we always need space if something unexpected happens. And if something unexpected, if we had a big inquiry to do, then we would have to reprioritise our work. And if we needed more resource, obviously we would ask for that.
Okay.
But we're not at that point at the moment. But we always have to be alive to be responsive to events on the ground where things happen, and we might need to do a big inquiry.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, members, anything else? Okay, members, could I just seek agreement? Members are content with the Northern Ireland Audit Office budget position for 17-18 and 19-20. Are you content with 19-20 as well, Kieran, or have you that?
Well, it gets a bit more uncertain the further you go in. We've sort of flatlined in the final years because we think we've taken a big cut last year and next year, but then we see things plateauing out in the final 2 years.
Okay. Members content then, we write to the audit committee accordingly on that.
Great.
Okay, members, on the draft protocol then, Michelle has made some comments on the Northern Ireland budget process and advise the audit committee. We content we write to the audit committee and I suppose reiterate your concerns.
Yeah.
Michelle, is that of the committee? Members content?
Great.
Okay, members, agenda item 5 is the inquiry into managing and protecting funds held in court. Can I refer members to the 12-month MOR reply on the PAC report on managing and protecting funds held in court from the Department of Justice Accounting Officer? That's at pages 95 to 98 of your pack. The report contains 6 recommendations, and the Department advises that some have been implemented and progress has been made in relation to those that are longer term in nature. The Department advises that progress will continue to be monitored until all the recommendations have been fully implemented. Again, Kieran, can I just ask if you have any comments on?
Well, just say on this memorandum, there is progress, but it's not particularly fast, so we'll need to keep an eye on it. And I think if necessary, if the accounting officer was up on other business, the committee, you can certainly get an oral update at some point. I think one of the positive things in this is a new IT system implemented, so we'll want to see how that's working out on the ground.
Okay. Kieran, recommendation 1, consulting on wider legislative reform. Is that commenced yet? Do you know? Is that?
Well, one of the things the committee said in recommendation 1, a statutory committee should be established at the earliest possible juncture. They haven't really moved on that. What they have moved on is they've brought more expertise into this liaison group, but that's not as far as the committee were recommending.
Members, members, anybody else know? we're content if we just seek clarity on that point and then note the 12-month MOR update.
Agreed.
Okay, thank you. Members, for the rest of the agenda, it will be necessary to move into closed session. Are members content we go into closed?
Agreed.
Senate Programme Sound. This is the Northern